Can't say I know where that is. That is strange. Wherever Sanguinator is, that's where he is. That's where the friggin... Oh, there you are, you beauty. Yes. Good. Screamer Killer, Zone Throw. Yeah, good. Hey Freds, just playing with my mini putts. How you doing, bud? Right, so I need how many sausages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sausages. 5 sausages and 2 blobs. Okay. So I don't know anything about Milliputt. All I know is that I've got to mix this stuff 50-50. So I'm going to do a 50-50 mix. And then from what I understand, I've got about 30 minutes to use it. Up to much hobby-wise, Freds? Okay, let's give this a good squidging. I assume it's all going to become the same colour. Oh, it's a bit flaky. A bit crumbly. I need to fill in some gaps on this guy. I need to fill in some gaps on the face of this guy. And I need to stuff a little bit in the back of that Zoanthrope we're painting. And also it's like cake rehearsal. You know what I mean? Okay, so it goes all over your fingers. That's what we've discovered. And I assume... Add a drop or two of water, okay. I'll just add some water. There we go. Oh, and wear gloves? Well, it's too late now. Is it going to hurt my skin? Or is it just going to stain them? Stain I can live with. Okay, right, I would say we are mixed. So, 30 minutes starting now, we're at the 7-minute mark. I don't care if it stains, I couldn't give 2 shits, it's just a stain. If someone wants to look at my hands and be like, oh, they're stained fingers, oh, yuck, 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 you know, I couldn't care less. Could not care less about stains on my hands, you know? So I got my fancy, well, my cheapest possible silicone little brushy decks. Marvellous. You just live there for a second. Don't need the packaging. Right, okay, so I think I should get the sausages on first. Or I do the face first and then I know where I'm at. So I just need little bits for the face. Never used Milliputt before. Never used it. So I'm going to go with stuff it in and on. That's what I'm going for. I'm not overly concerned about excess at this point. I'm just trying to get it into my recesses, or at least enough that I can then in turn start smoothing. And then however it chooses to form, much like what I do with inks, however it chooses to form will be the way I shape it. But at the moment, I'm just trying to press it into recesses. I need to get a little bit in that mouth, but not too much. So we need to blob a blob in there. And we need a bit on the back. Oh, it smells. We need to get a bit back in there. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to blob some into that mouth there. And then what I'll do is I'll excavate that and press the rest in. That's fine. Right, those blobs are assigned. Now the issue is the Zoanthrope is very much painted, so I need to blob. I need to conservative blob as it marks and stains everything. So conservative blob. Conservative blob in there. Two conservative blobs. And I can use the leftover for conservative blob. Conservative blob. Conservative blobs in. Now sausages. Now, this is Nurgle, so I'm not overly concerned about my sausage size because I'm going to work it in. So the main thing is that it's compacted in. That's the main thing. I want it to not look too neat. I want it to look compacted in. And then I will shape it as I see fit. Good, sausage one. Sausage two. Compact that in like so. Good. And then I've got a massive bit which I am going to use, so help me, I'm going to use all of this. And I will sculpt it as I see fit, but the main thing is that it's in and I get a gist of what I'm working with, which is that. Good. Right, so how long we use there? 3 minutes. 3 minutes to map it out. That's not bad. Well, they were half the price, so I was like, you know what, I'm going half the price. So the trick is now tactical wiping. Now I've got 30 minutes to do all three from what I understand, so I need to just not necessarily rush, but not work slowly. Now there's quite a lot in here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the reverse of the handle in a clever tip called a table switcheroo. So the trick is I'm trying to unify the two halves of the face in an ununiformed way. I want to keep those teeth, that's for sure. So let's push that up there. And any imperfections that I miss can definitely be reworked as flesh or the deformity of this particular character, which is quite good. And then if there's any bits that do dry, that stick out a little bit, I can then in turn go in and either paint over those or break them off in some way, shape or form. The main thing is that I hide anything that looks obviously like table just gluing it on. You know, that's what I want to avoid. Anything that looks like it's been deliberately glued from one piece to another, that's what I want to avoid. So I need to very much be aware of the time. Then there's an awful lot of nice detail under here that if I can trace back and liberate, that would be good. I might just take a little bit of water. Let's see what I can get back. And if I can't get it back, then it becomes part of the design, you know? What other brushes do I have? No. Right, I'm going to come in with my thumb at this point and just do that. Where are we? There's one there. So I'm having trouble finding the old ridges. So what I think I will do, I will simply just smooth that off as a new ridge, new breastplate. If it's like just barely dangling on, I will quite happily just scrape that off when it's dry. But what I'm trying to do is get a feel for this material I've never used before. See if I can't get it to within, you know, a certain tolerance of what my mind's imagining, which is kind of where I am there. This is quite hefty, that bit. But again, the more uneven the inside of the mouth, the better, really. As long as it doesn't look cartoonish. I find like I look at some of these attempts people make and they look a little bit cartoonish. But I'm only concerned about the Nurgle one looking cartoonish. I think that would be fine. Right, we're nearly there with this one. Again, I just want it to be... I don't want to see too much of a... I want to see no transition between the glued parts and the milliput. Which is what I'm getting, actually. I'm almost there with this. Good. You know what? I think we are there, because any lumpy bits that are on here will become details. I'm fine with that. Let's let that dry. Let's let that dry and move on to the next one, as I'm pretty sure time is an issue. This one is just total cleanup and just leave it in the recess. That's all I'm doing for this one. So just scrape off as much as possible whilst leaving, oh, you sod, whilst leaving it relatively unscathed. And then we get to do a nice little restoration paint job on these bits. So then this one as well. Oh, maybe I should come in at a different direction. That wants to come out. I might just press instead. Press that in. Okay. You know what I'm finding? I'm thinking for the Nurgle one, these silicone tools aren't the best. But for this one, where I've got to be genteel, I think it's fine. However, for the Nurgle, I'm going to want to work quicker. So I'm going to go switch to my metal tools. My old school sculpting tools. Not that they're old school, they're just old. So as long as I have that line between the plates-ish, doesn't need to be super there, just sort of there, I don't mind, because I can work the rest with paint, it's fine. So that's that covered, and then just a little bit more material back in there. Okay, that's good enough. Fantastic. I will just take that bit though, and then in there as well, I'll take that. Good. Right, now the fun one. Crisis over. Those two are done. Let me just double check. I can 100% live with that. I can live with that. Totally live with that. I can see where I'm going with that one. Can I see where I'm going with this one? Maybe ever so slightly going this way is required. So it does flatten smooth if you spend enough time with it. You know what, actually? Maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Maybe I should be a little bit gentle. Gentle, smoothy, smooth. Gentle, smoothy, smooth. Gentle. Yes, who's a little, lovely little one eye. Yes. Good. Okay, so silicone tools definitely have a place. Excellent. Right. Now, metal tool, please. That's perfect. All right, I shall listen to you, Freds. I was going to move on, but I will put a drop of water on here. That does really help, evidently. That's incredibly helpful. Thank you very much, Freds. That's very, very helpful indeed. The water does super duper help. Thank you. The question is, does the water increase the sculpting time that I have or not? You know, that's the big question. There's a little bit in there, but what I'm thinking is I might just press that in there as opposed to try and dig it out. Yeah, right. I'm gonna do a dab of water on this guy as well because it helped so much with smoothing it out. Beautiful. You'll never know. You never know. Now for the treat. Ha-ha! So I need to kind of start thinking start thinking orifices, lumps and ridges, and smoothing and bulging this edge to make it look pretty manky, you know. So I'm going in with the metal brush. It's all right if it's not fine. What I want is orifici, and to smooth it over. The good thing about this guy is that I got him for free, so even if I have gone stubbornly overzealous with the amount of milliput that because I wanted to use it all, it doesn't so much matter, as I can blame everyone else but me. That's the idea. Now I need to start smearing some in there, so let's grab a bit. I forgot about caking it into that bit. I need it to go in there as well. Cakey, thank you. In you go. I feel like I'm running out of time. Okay. Come on, Kit. Come on, table. You almost called yourself. Just get cracking. Smooth it off. And start trying to build up the whole picture. You need to see it in its entirety. Leroy Jenkins, why am I breathing so heavily? Because you're here, princess. Yeah. I mean, I was fine, breathing normally, and then you got here. And I just... I'm having to work fast, think fast. And you're here, so I'm totally distracted. So, you know... It's your own fault for being such a friggin' hottie, Leroy. What can I say? You know? Don't hate the man wheezing. I'm old as well, so it's probably some debilitating chest disease. Just me, just flying without a safety net is what it is. I'm trying to do something I've never managed to do before, with stuff that is quite time sensitive. And you know what? It's going to work out just fine. He says whilst throwing some there. I need some excess to go in there. And then the idea was also to cake a bit in there as well. The good news, I do like the terracotta colour because it shows me where I am working and what I'm doing. So that's always nice. I would love to get a bit in there, but I fear that I'm too late on that front, maybe. Hey, Grex. Right, I just need a couple of divots to work off. Okay, that's pretty good. We need to go in and finesse it with some smoothing and definitely some water. Oh, hello. Right, let's go in with some water. So all I'm doing here is I'm feeling for contours, for recesses. Okay, my transitions look, you know what, for the most part, I'm pretty happy with those. Let's blob in some orifices. You know what, maybe I can get away with using this for this. Right, okay, so it's clearly a combination of the two. Okay. Sorry, Nold. Sorry, Nold. You know, I'm just I'm doing something with no previous experience, and apparently it's very much time sensitive. So sorry, bud. Do apologise. I'm just trying to make this look not terribly cartoonish. That's what I'm going for. That's too smooth. That's too close to surface level stuff. But I can go here. Maybe just a couple up here. So what this is trying to be like is botfly lava. That's what I'm going for. Bye, Grex. Night, night, bud. Sorry, I've not been chatty. I'm just going for it here. Sorry. Yeah, that's all right. Never used these tools before, actually. They're not half bad. They're not half bad. What I should have done is clipped off a load of heads. I could have stuck them in these holes. That would have been lovely. Uh-oh, okay. Running out of time now. So, for future reference, cables and extra bits to poke in. That's what you need. Unless you want to be completely going for it with the sculpting. What I'm going for is, I wanted orifices, but what I'm thinking is, whilst I'm doing this, is what will be able to be hedge highlighted. So the idea is that it's going to look like botfly lava and blubber, essentially. That's what I'm going for. So not something that looks well at all. But at the same time, I've put on probably, hey Vendetta, I've put on probably 4 times more milliput than I was going to on this first experiment. I certainly shouldn't have started 3 different models at the same time, but at the same time, it seems I've risen to the challenge somewhat. So I'm just carving out bits that I want to edge highlight at this point, with at the same time trying to not look cartoonish or too repetitive. That's what I'm going for. So, not what I was planning to do this stream, to be honest. I wasn't planning on doing this. I just got a sudden hankering to try out the new toys. Yeah. And you know, if it had gone catastrophically wrong, it's no big loss. Like I say, I got this guy for free, so if it doesn't work out, but I don't feel like it's the case. I feel like it's going to work out. I like working with the terracotta as well. It tells me where, and yeah, also, yeah, it gets me ready for cake. Exactly. The cake are going to be beautiful. Good shout about the water as well, Freds. That was a good tip. That was a very good tip for me. That orifice can be a little bit deeper. Okay, I mean, realistically, what am I even... I think I might even have more than half an hour. This stuff is... It's really letting me play around with it now. Like, to begin with, it was very flaky, but now it's really letting me get in and work on it. But there is such a thing as working on something too much. So maybe I want to hedge my bets with where I'm at. Maybe I can just, in the interest of doing myself a favour when painting, leave a lot of highlighty bits. For the most part, my transitions are solid. For the most part, not some of them are a bit questionable, but I'd say 80% of my transitions are smooth. My issue is that it will look too cartoony, and I don't want that. I don't want too cartoony. I want a little bit more texture. No flat surfaces, but nothing that looks so much like uniformity, you know? It's kind of what I'm trying for. I mean, using a straight edge isn't too helpful, but if I wiggle it around with enough randomness, I should be all right. All right, I think I should stop there. Oh, no, just these two. They needed to be a little bit more orificey. I have no idea how long drying time is with this stuff, so I think I'll leave it a couple of days. All right, I think I'm going to leave that there where we're at. The weight of the model is shot up. There's some awfulness underneath, but that bit there I'm not overly concerned with. I'd like it to come out, but... Oh, it did. Okay, fantastic. It came out. Yeah, I think that's all right. It's kind of what I was looking for. I reckon some paint and some adjustments if need be, but I think for the most part, I'm going to leave that as is. I accomplished what I wanted to, which was to mold the points together, to fill in these recesses, to make this wheel look like it was more on a blob of flesh, which I've done. That recess I don't need to worry about. That horrendous mold line, then we'll never know about. So I think that we let that dry. Yeah. Hi, Warden. Sorry, bud. Sorry, buddy. I do apologise. The water was a great tip. Thank God you were here, Fred. And then we've got Old One Eye. I've succeeded in blending those headpieces together. It's okay if it's a little lumpy because it's a deformity anyway. So my only regret is that I filled in that little hole, but I'm all right with that. I wanted to get the inside of the mouth done, which is fine. I didn't cover over the details that I considered really important. The underside of the chin is still weak. Maybe if I can just find a piece, I can bodge that in now. Let's just see if I can just pick up a bit off the desk and squish that in with my thumb. Maybe a little bit more, just so on the chin there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the tool and a bit of water and see if I can't just wet that a little bit and mold that into those recesses. So we're exactly at half an hour from mixing now. So that's not bad. Not bad going at all, actually. And that has gone into that recess of the chin nicely. Teeny tiny bit more water, I feel. And then we can proper Yeah, that's fine. That's way better than it was. You're not really going to see the underside. Sorry, guys, I'm not letting you see this at all. Yeah, that's fine. I can 100% live with that. Anything that's not pressed into a recess, I suspect I can just scrape off easily enough. Yeah, that's done. Yeah, again, it just deformed. Just deformed is fine. And then the other one was the old backing plates, and they're nice and hidden away. I got no issue with those. They will hide up nicely with a bit of touch-up paint. I quite like the idea of restoring that. Run away, gents! Ah, good job, table. It's really heavy, but in hindsight, I should have had some bits of plastic on hand. Some heads, some bits of arms and stuff would have been nice. But again, trying for not cartoonish, and you mostly get a look at the front. I think I'll be all right. I think that will paint up nice. Right, I just need to go wash my hands. Yeah, I just need to go wash my hands and then we'll continue painting. That's what I reckon. And we can get a Titus layer on as well. That would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Nice little cheeky Titus layer. So, to be honest, Milliput terracotta version, I give it 10 out of 10. It's exactly what I was hoping for. I don't know what Francois was saying like immediately take it back to the shop without even trying it, because it's right on my street. Perfectly my cup of tea. Right, I'm here now. Gotta give a shout out. Did I just shout out to my lurkers? I don't know if I shouted out to my lurkers. Hello, lurkers. You're appreciated. I did, however, completely cake my wet palette in Milliput crumbs, which have now adhered to the wet palette. So much so that I should probably just change that paper entirely rather than trying to pick those guys off. So, looks like I'm going to have to get my ass up again. Pre-cut piece of paper. Someone gave me a tip of crease up your oven paper, right? Just screw it up and then apply it. It doesn't curl up on the edges. Super good tip that was. My only regret is that I can't remember the name of the person who suggested it. But it was a bloody good tip, that's for sure. I should have taken the time to remember their name. Right, I'm back. I'm feeling pretty pleased with myself with those attempts to do those guys. What's going on? How are we doing?